Who will be the next pope? Key contenders and factors shaping the succession. As the Catholic Church mourns Pope Francis and prepares for the conclave to elect his successor, speculation intensifies over who will lead the world's 1.4 billion Catholics. The election, steeped in tradition and secrecy, will hinge on geopolitical dynamics, ideological divides, and the legacy of Francis's papacy. Below is an analysis of the leading candidates and the forces shaping this historic decision. Key contenders. Pietro Parolin, Italy, 70. The Vatican's Secretary of State since 2013, Parolin is a seasoned diplomat and a continuity candidate, aligned with Francis's reforms. He negotiated the controversial China-Vatican agreement on bishop appointments and is seen as a bridge between progressive and conservative factions. Critics label him a pragmatist, but his global experience makes him a frontrunner. Luis Antonio Tagle, Philippines, 67. A progressive voice and former head of Caritas Internationalis, Tagle advocates for social justice and a more inclusive church. Despite accusations of mismanagement at Caritas, his potential to become the first Asian pope resonates with the church's growth in Asia. However, his softened stance on LGBTQ+ issues and communion for divorced couples may alienate conservatives. Peter Turkson, Ghana, 76. A champion of climate action and economic justice, Turkson could make history as the first sub-Saharan African pope in centuries. While upholding traditional doctrines on marriage, he criticizes harsh anti-LGBTQ+ laws in Africa. His diplomatic work in South Sudan and global appeal bolster his candidacy. Peter Erdo, Hungary, 72. A conservative stalwart, Erdo opposes Francis's migration policies and supports traditional liturgy. His alignment with Eastern European leaders like Viktor Orban and outreach to Orthodox churches position him as a candidate for those seeking doctrinal stability. Matteo Zuppi, Italy, 69. Known as the Italian Bergoglio, Zuppi shares Francis's focus on poverty and peace-building. His role as a Vatican envoy to Ukraine and openness to dialogue on same-sex relationships appeal to progressives but risk conservative backlash. Robert Serra, Guinea, 79. A traditionalist critic of Francis, Serra opposes blessings for same-sex couples and defends clerical celibacy. His election would mark a sharp turn toward orthodoxy, though his age and polarizing views may limit support. Geopolitical considerations. Africa and Asia's rising influence. With Catholicism growing rapidly in Africa and Asia, cardinals may elect a pope from these regions to reflect the church's demographic shift. Turkson, Ghana, and Tagle, Philippines, symbolize this trend. Europe's legacy. Despite calls for diversity, European candidates like Parolin or Erdo could appeal to traditionalists seeking a return to the papacy's European roots. Ideological divide. Progressive continuity. Candidates like Zuppi and Tagle would extend Francis's reforms, emphasizing social justice, environmentalism, and pastoral flexibility. Their election would signal a commitment to modernization. Conservative resurgence. Erdo and Serra represent a return to doctrinal rigidity, rejecting LGBTQ+ inclusivity and liturgical changes. Their rise would appeal to critics of Francis's disruptive papacy. Conclave dynamics. Francis's legacy. Over 2/3 of voting cardinals were appointed by Francis, favoring candidates aligned with his vision. However, cardinals are not bound to follow his agenda, and fatigue with his reforms could spur a conservative shift. Diplomatic skill. Parolin's experience in navigating Vatican diplomacy, notably with China, positions him as a unifying figure amid global tensions. The Prophecy Wildcard. A medieval text, the Prophecy of the Popes, predicts the next pontiff will be Peter the Roman, heralding a period of turmoil. While 3 candidates, Erdo, Turkson, and Parolin, share the name Peter, scholars dismiss the prophecy as a 16th century forgery. Yet, its resurgence highlights the symbolic weight of this election. The conclave's outcome remains unpredictable, but key themes emerge. A tension between continuity and change, the rise of the global South, and the Church's response to modernity. While Parolin and Tagle lead as pragmatic reformers, dark horses like Turkson or Erdo could defy expectations. The election will not only shape the Church's future, but also test its ability to balance tradition with the demands of a rapidly changing world.